Hey guys, how you doing? Give Lose It here, and we're off for part 2 of Malagueña, the full lesson. Now I'm going to play what we're going to learn in this video, and we're starting in the more traditional part of it, and we're also going to go to the main part. So without further ado, it sounds something like this. Alright, now I stopped it halfway through that last very traditional part of Malagueña because I wanted us to have more time to explore what we're doing in the beginning of this part, which is the chord progression, and then I'll take a whole video explaining the rest of it, which I haven't played. So don't worry, we're going to cover exactly what I played today, and plus, if you guys haven't checked the first video lesson, please do follow the annotation link. I hope you guys have fun with it, and if you like to hear the whole version, you came to this video by accident, just click any of the annotations. You guys can hear the whole piece for practicing as well. Alright, let's get started. Now, here we go. I think a little bit more different zoom might help. We started off by using an E chord, which that we've learned in the previous lesson, and most of you might know this chord. We also used an A minor, which that is exactly the same as the E chord, but you just move the same shape of fingers, lift them up a little bit and move them one string more down each finger. So that would be your middle badass left hand finger on the second fret of the fourth string, then your ring finger will be on the third string on the second fret also, and your index on the first fret of the second string. Alright, and we also had our F, which we've covered in the previous lesson. And if you've noticed, I played something down here. We're going to come to that. Let's just see what we do first with the right hand and left hand to further it up. So here's our E major chord. Now you want to try to just flatten down your index like that and bar also the first two bottom strings on the first fret. Now don't worry about that bottom E because we're not going to be playing it. It's just an easier way of pressing down the second string on the first fret, and it's okay because we're not going to be using it. So the first string, the E, we're not using for this first part. Neither do we use the top E bass string. So if we plug together using 4 fingers, the thumb in the middle bass, the 5th string, the index stays on the 4th string, that's our bottom bass, the middle on the 3rd, and the ring finger on the 2nd string. So we ignore the bottom and the top string, and we just use to plug like this. It's a little bit like a claw. Now I'm doing it a bit louder. You want to go softer when you're playing it, and then plug again. That's the only thing we do. Is a little bit of a classical technique, but instead of using the pinching, we're using a little bit more of a clawish feel. And you're going to do the same plug again, but place down that bar we just learned. Alright? Now you want to put your pinky on the 2nd string again, but on the 3rd fret, and plug again the same. So we have this little melody behind our chord right on the 2nd string. So if we play them together, one more time. Now this last time, instead of lifting up your pinky, you want to go straight away back to the previous shape and then lift to an E. So if I play only the 2nd string, back, up. Same thing here. You could even strum it if you don't prefer this and just go soft. Yeah? Alright. Now our second part, we'll be going to be using the same technique with the right hand. With a slight difference, we're going to learn how to do also a roll. We've done that in the previous video of releasing the thumb, the index, the middle, and the ring. Like that. It just pulls away. Alright? So we're going to play an E and an A minor. That's 2 plucks in the center. Now we're going to change back to the E, but we're going to lower the fingers of the right hand, all of them 1 string more down, so we're picking with the ring finger also the first string, and do the roll. I put a little bit more power, plus I might play a little bit more back, so we have that emphasis. One more time the second part. And we do that twice. One last time. Now we shape an an F major chord. We already learned that in the previous video, and we do the same roll down, starting 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. And just lift the index and slide up 1 fret. That's the E major. Even if you're holding it with other fingers, it makes it easier. And finish it there. So if we put them slowly together, we have playing in the center of the guitar strings without the bottom strings here. We want to return back. Now softly, loud, F, E. Excellent. We're trying to produce now the same sound, similar, the same melody, using the same chords but in a different position on the guitar. So let's start with the easy part. What we do is we take the whole index finger and we go right over the 7th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're trying to have all this nicely clean pressed as much as we can. And the usual way to hold down now an E chord in this position, many people put their pinky, their little finger, on 7, 8, 9th fret on the 2nd string, and then on the 9th fret again, but the ring finger on the 3rd string. I hope you guys can see it. And then this badass finger goes on the 9th fret again on the 4th string, and you have this chord progression. Now I have a video which I'm going to put somewhere here again, a notation that you guys can watch, where I like to press it down with using only the joint of my finger. So I'm pressing down on those 3 strings, that's the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd string, using a little back bend of the pinky. And you guys can go check out that video if you like to use it like that. If you already know how to play the chord in your own way, please do. I'm still trying to get it as clear as possible. I think that's a struggle that never finishes. So even if you see my other 2 fingers, they might be there for support. I'm not really using them much unless giving more pressure. So we have actually now shaped an E chord. And if we try to move the whole bar, we move the pinky away, we move the whole bar 2 frets up, and place down your ring finger on the 7th fret of the middle bass, that's the 5th string, and your pinky on the 7th fret again, but on the 4th string. Now we have an A minor. It's the same chord as here. Also our E that was down here, the same but higher. So if we put those 2 together slightly fast, it's going to take a little bit of practice, guys, but it's worth it. You're just going to pluck as we learned without these 2 strings on the previous chords. So we had E, A minor, E. There I just moved from our E chord 1 fret more down, and that's give us an F chord. Yes, this chord is the same as this other annoying chord. At least the other chords, we can play them open too. So that's gonna be our little finishing. And back to the E. One more time this part. You can also, if you heard me playing it in the beginning or maybe in the main video, maybe you heard this. It's my flip-flop. So you can just tap your foot. Alright? And then we do that one more time. But now we want to jump from the F, that's from our E to our F, all the way 2 frets more down. I know it's more difficult. That means you would be barring on the 7, 8, 9, 10th fret and on the 12th these strings. And if you have a cutaway guitar, which that part is missing, would be much easier. But we're only stepping on it for a fraction of a second. And then back up 2 frets, back down 2 frets, back up 2 frets. And I know it feels like you want to finish on the E, but I leave it there, I pause, so it gives a little bit more emphasis on coming into that one. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. You guys can keep these parts or remove a part that you don't feel comfortable, as long as you find pieces that you're comfortable with and putting them together in your own special way. And let's get continuing of the most traditional sound that we can get from this little piece. It's an E major chord, and we're using an alteration between the thumb and the middle finger. Now you can use between the thumb and the index thumb and the ring finger, and I don't know for what reason, maybe with the pinky. It's up to you. I like to use the middle because it has more weight to it, and it helps me go faster without caring too much about projecting a lot of sound. My middle finger just does it automatically, maybe because it's longer, like all of us. Alright, now let's learn it without the alteration. Just what does the thumb do? On the E major chord, you want to play the fourth, the third, and the second string. Then play it one more time. Then move to an A minor. That's the same shape as the E chord, but one fret more down. Then you play the third string. Then you play the second string. Then you lift up. That's open the second string. Then you go back up on the third, where your ring finger is on the second fret. Lift up the ring finger, play that third string open, and then slide one fret down with your middle badass finger on the fourth string on the third fret, and plug that. We will consider that part A of the traditional one. If we play it slowly, just with the thumb. We played that nice and slow 2 times. Yeah, that wasn't hard. We're gonna try the same thing again, but now use an alteration between the thumb and the middle. Again, you can use your index, your ring, any finger that you feel comfortable. You will plug the same notes with your thumb, but you will place an open E string, or the first string if you like here, always in between. So this would be the first part. Second part to the A minor. We start again. And that's the first part of the main part, guys, but I think I'm gonna stop the video right here. I don't want them keeping them too long or too confusing. We've learned a very good part of some new chords that we're going to be using later on in this composition. We've also learned the beginning of Malagueña that everybody can recognize. And the next lesson we're going to cover in depth and in detail just this soloing part, where it becomes a little bit not too complicated. If you find a principle for it, quite easy to do, and we'll learn it together and have fun. I hope you guys make videos of yourself playing and exploring guitar music for the rest of your life. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and thank you for your support. God bless. See you on the next video.